The pandemic had an impact on students of all ages. This morning, we're getting a first look at graduating seniors.
A new report shows that seniors going directly to college, the number has declined.
And this is something that 9 News reporter Jordan Chavez has been following. Jordan?
Good morning, y'all. Yeah, this latest report from the Colorado Department of Higher Education focuses on the most challenging years in recent memory. Of course, we are talking about the class of 2020, and a lot of that can be blamed on COVID. Now, of the high school graduating class of 2020, only about half went on to college the fall after they graduated. That's down nearly 6% compared to the previous year. Low-income students were disproportionately impacted, seeing higher drops in college enrollment than those who are wealthier. And students in small rural areas saw the biggest drop. That number of students in those districts who went to college right after high school was 10% lower in 2020 than pre-pandemic.
This absolutely is showing how COVID has had a negative impact on higher education, in all of education, really. It was not an easy year, and definitely the data that this report demonstrates shows that it wasn't easy.
Now, many students take gap years and then return to school a year or two after high school. The Department of Higher Education, though, says they are not seeing that happen at the same rate as they were before the pandemic. I think these are conversations that we talked about in theory when the pandemic was kind of first getting on, is what was going to happen to students. Now we're seeing these numbers come out in full.
And I think so much of this is very surface level. I think that as time goes on, we're going to get more in depth about truly how affected they are academically. We've seen enrollment go down for all ages, in public school as well. So it's going to be really eye-opening.
Right, and there's already early research that's happening right now, kind of exactly what you were saying, to see what's really happening on later down the year or later on down the road. However, it's going to take time to really learn what kids were missing out on or what their decisions were affected by the pandemic.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if those numbers come back. That'll be the key.
And I think the biggest disservice is the people in those lower income communities who aren't able to, and I think that's going to be the biggest problem too.
Yeah, lower income and rural communities for sure.
That is an issue. All right, Jordan, thank you much for that.